want to get right into, again, some very good news that's occurred in the bond and interest rate markets just in the last couple of days, actually. And that is interest rates. They're much improved from a week ago. There's our rate chart. What you're going to see is quite a bit of change from what we were posting last week when we had that really tough week with those super hot job numbers that really took the bond yields way up over 4%, and mortgage rates were essentially touching 7%. Well, we backed off of that quite a bit. So when you look at this rate grid, you can see now conforming 30-year fixed getting close to 6%. FHA and VA in particular, great improvement there. Now they're both under 6% and approaching the mid 5s. So this is really very good news this week for mortgage rates. So, and in that regard, let me show you the chart of the 10-year bond yield for the last 5 days. You know, I've heard that there's still July skiing in Mammoth Mountain up in Northern California. And this chart kind of reminds me of one of those really good downhill runs at Mammoth, where you can see that, beginning last Friday into even Monday, we were over 4% on the 10-year bond yield. And as of, today, we're right around 3.76, 3.77. So that's a 3/8 of improvement in yield. And that's why those rates on our previous screen with the rate grid, that's why they're so much better than they were from the week before. So with that, what is going on? What happened this week to change the direction of mortgage rates? Well, it's all about inflation. Last week it was all about jobs. This week it's all about inflation. And guess what? Inflation is cooling. For this 12th straight month, we've had improvement in the inflation numbers. Now, starting with yesterday, Wednesday, we had the release of the Consumer Price Index, known as the CPI. Now, it increased 0.3%. But that increase was down from what it was in May when it was 0.4%. So that was really, really good news. Now, keep in mind that core CPI, that does exclude food and energy, and it did increase 4.8% in June, but that was down 5.3% from May. And then so that caused quite a good rally in the bond market yesterday. And then we had more of the same today, because what happened today? The release of the PPI, or known as the Producer Price Index. And that rose by only 0.1%. That was an expectation to be a 0.2% increase. So the increase was only half of what was forecast. So as a consequence, what happened? We saw additional rally in the 10-year bond market. And now keep in mind, what is PPI versus CPI? Well, PPI is the price of goods sold by manufacturers. In fact, in that regard, it's sometimes known as wholesale inflation indicator. So both on the retail side of inflation, CPI, the wholesale side of inflation, PPI, we're seeing very good improvement in the inflation numbers, and it's been very consistent month to month. So with that, that's why we see so much better rates than we saw a week ago. And this is why, if you've been still holding off about maybe getting a mortgage, whether it's a purchase or a refi, here's another opportunity. If we can get a little more improvement, get well into the 5s again, I think now may be the time to really look at getting a mortgage if you need to want to move, buy a house, or even if in some cases a refi.
For those people looking to refinance, those people who are looking to say, hey, I want to get into rental property, or should I buy right now? Yep. Now is really the answer. So make sure to reach out to Art. Art, thank you again so much for being such a wealth of information and helping those people understand, from a true perspective of what are my options. You really laid those out today. I really appreciate it.
Sure. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it too. Thank you everyone for watching. And just remember, at MortgageWorks, we do have the answers and they're on the house. Take care.